Hi everyone, welcome to electronic devices classes. We will continue our module 2. Okay, module 2 is the PN junctions and optoelectronic devices. This is the continuation of the module 2 topics. Till now, we try to get familiarized with the structure of the PN junction, and we try to know about the flow of current in a PN junction, that we we qualitatively analyze the current flow in a biased PN junction. For this, we took the PN junction at three different conditions. First condition was at equilibrium condition, where our bias equals to 0. And we took a forward bias condition, where we made a P side a positive and a N side a negative. And then in the next condition, we took a reverse bias condition, where we made the P side as negative and the N side as positive. And at all these three conditions, we analyzed the their energy band structures and their electrostatic potential variation. Okay, we saw all these things in the beginning of the module 2. And then in the previous class, we tried to analyze the minority charge carrier distributions. Okay, minority charge carrier distributions in reverse biased PN junction. What we did, we took a reverse biased PN junction, and we try to know why there is no current flow due to the majority carriers, and why there is a reverse saturation current because of the minority carriers. Okay, this we saw in the previous class, that in a reverse bias. Okay, and we came to know that there is a reverse saturation current in reverse bias. And in today's class, we will continue that reverse bias topic with a little bit extension to breakdown. Okay, there are concepts called breakdown, where your reverse saturation current breakdowns your control, and it flows at a high rate, okay, for a particular voltage. Okay, we'll see why that reverse saturation current flows, and for what value of the reverse voltage it will flow. Okay, and today's topic is reverse bias breakdown. I welcome you all to the today's class, reverse bias breakdown. Okay, we shall try to construct again and get familiarized with the PN junction. Okay, we're constructing the PN junction. This PN junction has been separated by a area called transition region, having a width W. Okay, and we'll try to apply bias to this. Okay, and this is a condition where at equilibrium there is no the bias is equal to 0, and we will try to apply reverse bias to this. That is, we will apply negative supply to the P side and positive to the N side. This is how we will make the negative and positive supply to the P and N. Now this PN junction is called as a reverse bias PN junction. Okay, what happens, and we will denote the voltage as VR. Okay, reverse bias, for reverse bias we'll denote it as a VR. What happens now to the transition region when we apply reverse bias? We know that from the previous class, that what happens, the transition area, observe carefully here, the transition area becomes wide. Okay, you can see the transition area has become widened. Okay, this is because of the majority charge carriers are moving away from the transition region, and the minority carriers are we will come to that. The majority carriers are moving away from the transition region, and the transition is getting wider. Okay, and we saw there is an electric field within the transition region, which plays a much important role in the flow of the charge carriers and the current. Okay, we'll try to analyze these things. You can see the transition region has become wider. Okay, this is the one. Okay, now this PN junction is called as a reverse bias PN junction, where we applied a bias where our V becomes minus VR. Okay, and this PN junction is justified that P side is connected to negative voltage and N side is connected to the positive voltage. Okay, and we call this as a reverse bias PN junction. Please remember this circuit, remember this structure and the kind of way of connections, and why it is called a reverse bias. We'll continue. Okay, and since we are very much familiarized about the current flow and the minority charge carriers importance in reverse bias, we'll try to move further about the breakdown concepts. Okay, let us plot the VI characteristics of the reverse bias PN junction once again. Okay, and when we plot this reverse bias PN junction exhibits, as we know that there is a small reverse saturation current is flowing. Okay, and this reverse saturation current, as we know, it is a very small value, but at particular value of the reverse bias, okay, this current start to uh, rise or increase abruptly, means it suddenly increases for a particular value of the voltage or a critical value of the reverse bias, and this current is unstoppable, and it may damage the device. Okay, this kind of sudden increase in the reverse saturation current at a particular critical value of the voltage is called as a reverse breakdown, and the value of the voltage we will call as a breakdown voltage. Okay, we'll try to plot and we'll try to see where okay, on the x-axis we'll be having a V voltage, and the y-axis will be having a current I. Okay, similarly this is the positive coordinate, and we will try to plot about the forward current with respect to the forward bias. This is the circuit which came is the forward bias PN junction, and the current is flowing as a forward current, and we'll try to plot we'll try to extend our plot for the reverse bias. Okay, you can see we are getting a negative voltage scale, and a current scale has been extended on the negative side also. Okay, and we'll get the then we will need denote it as a minus V on the negative scale, and we will get the reverse bias PN junction for justification. Okay, we know that from the previous class that there is a small reverse saturation current flows. Pardon me for that. We know that from the previous class that there is a small reverse saturation current flows. Okay, for the reverse bias, but there comes a critical value, okay, at which this reverse saturation, which is small in nature, and it is in a constant value, okay, it start to increase suddenly, and it will increase such a that it is uncontrollable. Okay, for that particular voltage, the reverse saturation current increases very abruptly. Okay, that particular voltage is called as a breakdown voltage. Why breakdown voltage? Because the reverse saturation current which is flowing um, in some constant value, it breaks that constant value, and it increases abruptly, and it increases abruptly. The remark is showing the reverse saturation current, and you can see there is a breakdown voltage mentioned as VBR. For that voltage the current increases abruptly. You can see there is a sudden increase at the VBR, and that increase, you can see it's a constant increase. It is not exponentially growing. It is growing in a straight line. In a right angle manner. That current is growing in a, sorry, increasing in a straight line. We can call it as the breakdown, for a breakdown voltage or a reverse breakdown voltage. The reverse saturation current it start to increase in a right angle manner. Okay, this current we will call this condition we call as a breakdown, and the current we will call it as a reverse bias uh, reverse breakdown current. Okay, um, and the different mechanisms are there. We'll try to see. For first, we'll try to understand in a reverse bias there is a condition called breakdown voltage appears, at which the current increases abruptly in a right angle manner, in a straight line. Okay, did you all understood this? We will continue. Please observe, this is a reverse bias breakdown VI characteristic. Okay, in continuation to this, we will call that breakdown voltage as a critical voltage, and we saw that the current increases sharply in a right angle manner. Okay, um, and the maximum current which flows in the device is given by I is equal to, in area we know that I is equal to V by R, but here we know that in the transition region there is a presence of electric field. Okay, and now we know that the current is increasing with respect to the breakdown voltage also. So that the whatever the voltage V in the numerical, it will be in the numerator, it becomes electric field minus the breakdown voltage. Now the new value of the current is I is equal to E minus VBR in the numerator divided by the resistance. Okay, this is the maximum current which flows in the this reverse bias PN junction. Okay, if we limit the R, if we choose the R resistance R in the diameter in such a way that to limit the current. Okay, we need to choose a R such that we can limit the current else this reverse the breakdown current may amper our circuit wherever we use this reverse bias PN junction, or it may damage the particular electronic device. Okay, so we need to control that sudden increase in the reverse saturation current, that's the reverse breakdown current, in order to safeguard our device and the circuit. Okay, we'll see there are two different mechanisms in the revised bias breakdown. One is called the Zener effect and another one is called the avalanche breakdown. Okay, this Zener effect comes into picture when the PN junction is heavily doped, and the avalanche breakdown come into effect when the PN junction is lightly doped. But these two effects occur at within a not within, at a different breakdown voltage. Okay, we'll see for watt orders, we'll see watt orders, each of these effects requires a critical electric field in the junction, where in the junction transition region. Okay, and at a glance we'll see what is Zener effect and what is avalanche breakdown, and in the separate class we'll try to have the Zener breakdown effect and avalanche breakdown effect. We'll try to understand in the more in a more general way, and for a glance we'll see in a one line. Okay, and again we'll try to construct the IV characteristics of the reverse bias PN junction. Okay, IV characteristics of the reverse bias PN junction, and we'll see where does the the Zener breakdown occurs and the avalanche breakdown occurs. Okay, and there's a P and there's a reverse bias PN junction, and the reverse saturation current is there for a breakdown voltage VBR. Okay, we can see the reverse saturation current, it it rises um, sharply. Okay, before we knew, but we'll try to see the different mechanisms in the IV characteristics. First we'll take the Zener effect. This Zener effect is operative at low voltages up to a few volts of the reverse bias. Okay, starting from the breakdown voltage, we can see the Zener the Zener breakdown. Okay, at when the device meets a breakdown voltage, what how the value where the current is, the reverse saturation current start to flow increase start to increase sharply, that we called as a reverse breakdown for that particular breakdown voltage. If you increase slightly that the reverse bias, and for the next order of voltages, we can see or we can observe the current the current the current will also be there for the increased voltage. Okay, for the increased reverse bias, there also current flows. Okay, in a very strictly manner, that we call as a avalanche breakdown. Okay, the avalanche breakdown occurs at higher voltages. The voltage will be few volts to thousands of volts. Okay, the Zener breakdown occurs for a few volts, whereas the avalanche breakdown occurs for a variation of some breakdown voltage, from greater than breakdown voltage to some thousand voltage. Okay, you can see from the IV VI characteristics of the reverse bias, the breakdowns can occur for varying of voltages. Okay, we will try to analyze the Zener breakdown and avalanche breakdown, how this coming into the picture, and how to control. Okay, before going to Zener breakdown, avalanche breakdown, we shall try to see how to avoid these effects and how to safeguard our devices. Okay, what is the importance of knowing breakdown and how to avoid them? Okay, we saw that because of the sudden increase in the current, the circuit may get damaged and the device may get damaged, but the device and the circuit will not get damaged because of the reverse bias. It is getting damaged, it is getting the uh, affected because of the sudden increase in the maximum current flow. Okay, it may be in the forward bias also, it may be in the reverse bias also. Similarly, in a forward bias also, we know that the current flowing is a some part. If that current exceeds the maximum value, then uh, uh, then the current in the forward bias also, the current may hamper the device, it may affect the device. So we can say that when there is a when the current which is flowing, it exceeds the maximum value. Okay, we can say that it may affect that's increased current may affect the circuit. Okay, if the current is not limited, whatever the current which is growing, which is increasing, if you don't limit, then the junction can be damaged. Okay, the PN junction can be damaged, and um, it may overheat the device. Okay, and we can get, and we will experience a maximum power. Okay, so this is how the device may get damaged, these few conditions. Okay, it is important to remember, however, that such destruction of the device is not necessarily due to the mechanism. As I said, it not necessarily due to the mechanism of the reverse backdoor. It is because of the way the increase in the increase in the current flow. Okay, and what is the solution? The solution is simple: use breakdown diodes. Okay, use breakdown diodes, or breakdown devices to avoid the reverse breakdown, and use a resistor such that we can limit this current. Okay, we'll try to see about the different mechanisms, what is a Zener effect and avalanche breakdown, in the next class. Thank you all.